Hey, I'm Jamie Lewis, and welcome to Deadbeat Studios. Today, we're going to be checking out this right over here. Honestly, I don't know which amp it is. There's actually two in here. There's an Aguilar AG700 and then a tone hammer. And that's the one that we're checking out today. And when I say I don't know which one, what I mean is traditionally there were a few different versions of the tone hammer. There was a 350 or 300, I think a 500 and a 700. So this one here is the latest version, May 2024. I don't know which one it is because I haven't unboxed it yet, and that's exactly what this video is going to be. I also want to say that this video is completely unscripted, unedited. I'm sure you've noticed that by now, so I'm just flying off the cuff here. If I say wrong things, please forgive me. You're going to hear a lot of mistakes. I'm going to play a lot of wrong notes. I promise. And that's the whole fun part of what we're doing here is you get to hear it for the first time the same as me. And we'll just see if I get to make any good sounds with it. That being said, let's open her up. All right, let me just move a couple of these things out of the way. Let's grab my machete, because that is, without doubt, the best way to do an unboxing. Why wouldn't you do it this way? There we go. Perfect. Careful. Safety first, everybody. All right. There we go. Let's get rid of that. Now, like I said, there are two amps in here. One... Let's see, is this going to be the better angle? Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, one of these is the Tone Hammer 500, or again, I don't know which Tone Hammer. I'm assuming it's the 500. And then one of them is the AG. We'll come back to this one in the next video. Okay, I'm just going to set this aside for now. Let's keep going. Lots of bubble wrap. Okay. Here's what we're looking at. Oh, back over here. All right. That's what the box looks like. Very, very lightweight. And you know what? Like I said, I'm going to do a demonstration, not a demonstration, but a comparison between the two. I just want to see which one. I don't know. They both feel like they're the same weight. This one's barely lighter. I don't know. Pretty awesome. Okay, so this is the Tone Hammer. It's just called Tone Hammer. It doesn't have a number on it. AG500. Let's put that one aside. Let me get my machete again. Hold on. Where'd it go? It's over here. Oh my! Is your studio as messy as mine is? Or does it look better? Because if your studio's not as messy as mine, then I don't know if you're doing it right. Actually, that was the bottom. Let's open the top. Ba-doo, ba-doo. Believe it or not, the machete is very ineffective. Inefficient. That's how we say it. All right, let's put that aside. And here's what we got. Let's see, can I do it this way? All right, we got a power cable. I do need to say I've already got power and speak-on routed for this cabinet. It's already plugged in the back. So thanks for including it, Aguilar, but I won't need that. Gosh, I always forget when I do these. I get so out of breath because, I'm doing like some physical labor, not much, but moving boxes and standing. Okay, here's the owner's manual and a USB cable. Oh, I totally forgot. Okay, in the email, first of all, shout out to Jeff. I think it's Jeff. Jeff at Aguilar, Korg USA. He was telling me that the new version has IRs. I think there's an app and yeah. Okay, so I don't know if we're going to get into that today because he was supposed to send me some software. If it hasn't come out yet, they might be launching this on the day. So I don't have the software yet. We'll just come back and grab that in another video because like I said, this is all going to be just a one-shot. I'm not going to edit it. So yeah, we'll come back to the app or whatever the IRs in another case. In general, when I'm doing these, I try not to read the manual if I don't have to. For the purpose of like, I want to see how intuitive the gear is. Like say I'm at a gig and you know, my bass amp dies and I've got to borrow one from the next band or the band that's before me or something like that. So what if he hands me this? What if she gives me one of these? So my question is, okay, I'm about to go on stage. How long is it going to take for me to dial this in? How long is it going to take to learn what everything does? And there we go. Okay, so I do need to say this. I did have a tone hammer. Let's see. I toured with one from like 2013 to 17, maybe. That was like tour. That was for my local gigs or fly dates, anything, because it's so light and small. This one does. Sorry, I just want to see. Does it say on the back? Oh, it says right there. Okay, so it is the Tone Hammer 500. So I'm going to guess 500 watts. So it looks a little bit different than the one I had. The knobs are, sorry, I'm going to keep going back to this screen. The knobs are different. The typeface up top is a little different, but I'm recognizing most of the same stuff. You know, a pad pre and post for the XLR, a ground lift, and then a mute, and gain, overdrive, a 3-band EQ with a, or I guess here's the mid level, and then a sweepable band for the mids. So that looks pretty much exactly like the Tone Hammer that I remember. I don't know if it sounds the same. I imagine the power's the same. I definitely remember it being this light. You throw it up in the air and it almost floats down like a feather. So yeah, that's a pretty sick looking rig right there, especially with the SL cabinet. I'm definitely digging the vibe. So I guess the next thing I do is plug it in. Give me 1 second. Get some power going to it. And let's plug in a speaker cable. Okay, here's something that's interesting. Check this out. On the front over here, there's an XLR output. Whoops. Look at that. Well, unplug the power cable because it's getting screwed up. Look at that. There's another DI on the back, along with a headphone. Interesting. Okay, wasn't on the last one. There's the USB. We've got a tuner out. Interesting. Yeah, and an aux input. Okay, so I don't think that those were features on the last Tone Hammer that I can remember. 2 DIs, probably for like one post and one pre. Okay, so this is the type of thing I'll have to look in the manual and see. But that's pretty cool. I imagine they're trying to go for like the dark glass thing, where you can like multiple process a DI sound, so you can get one that's post effects, one that's pre effects, or one that's post cab simulator, one that's pre impulse response, or something like that. So that's pretty cool. Let me plug it back in. Let's make sure it powers up. I'll plug in the XLR. Let's go into the front loaded one, because the back one does say DI2. So let's go out of DI1. Here's my power. Before I turn it on, let me grab a cable. Now let's just see if we get noise out of it. That's always a good sign, okay? I'm just going to tap it with my finger. I'm just going to go like this, turn the volume all the way down. Beautiful. That's the mute switch. Sweet. We have signal. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is plug in a bass, and let's just see what it sounds like. All right. Let's plug in the Spector right here. Let me get some headphones on. And let me also say this. Hey, check 1, 2. Check, check, check. I'm pretty sure that this bass is boost EQ only and blend. Oh, that's the fan kicking on. I do remember that from the Tone Hammer. So, cabinet is off currently. Let me come over to this screen. This is probably a better one to do this. There we go. Okay, give me 1 second. All right, so I'm just going to play around for a minute. Let me figure out what all these knobs do. I'm going to leave the bass flat, so the EQ is not boosting, but obviously it is active. Yep, that's volume. And there's the blend. Okay, so I'm going to leave the bass dead center. Sorry, I'm going to come over to this one. I'm going to leave the bass dead center in terms of the pickup blend and the EQ totally off. And let's just see what this thing does right here. First of all, okay, so the post EQ was off. Let me pull up my screen here so I can make sure. Get good gain staging. Yeah, I do have the pad engaged because this is a really hot bass. Okay, so now I've got the EQ on. Let me do this. I'm going to turn off my microphone. Hey. So now you won't hear my fingers striking the string. We won't hear the fan. And I'm just going to play for like the next, I don't know, 30 seconds, 2 minutes. Let me just dial it in, see what I can come up with, and then I'll come back and tell you my thoughts, tell you what I'm hearing. All right. Man, I need to practice my slapping. Okay, so I've got a pretty good feel for what this thing is doing. I have not touched the pickup blend or the EQ on the Spector bass. So let me put it this way: the low end very strong. The top end I had to crank it before I really got the sizzle that I was looking for slap. But that doesn't mean it wasn't there. Also, like check this out: if I go flat. And I just come over to this bass and I dial in the top end. Check this out. This bass is flat. I'm going to dial in the top end. See, this bass has got all that. So if that's the kind of top end that I'm hitting this amp with, I won't have to go quite as crazy with it, is what I was trying to say, to get that much sizzle out of it. So it totally depends what you're hitting it with. With the whatchamacallit, with the EQ pulled all the way down. I'll turn off my mic again. Again, it's there's top end, there's sizzle, it's just very flat. So if I crank that sucker, I'll turn my mic off again. Yeah, it's there. It's just not as like hi-fi and pronounced as you know, I don't know, Warwick, Dark Glass maybe. But that's kind of, oops, I'm on the wrong one. That's kind of the Aguilar sound in general. To be honest, this is what I was an Aguilar artist back in from 2009 to 16 or 17 or something like that. And what I loved about the Aguilar sound was this: set it flat. Just, I'm sorry, by the way, if this headstock keeps getting in the way. I'll try not to do that. But the cool thing about Aguilar is you just set it flat and it sounds good. You just amplify the sound of your bass. So when I took one of these on the road or played locally, that was the point, was I didn't want to touch it unless I had to fix something, so to speak. So yeah, the 3-band EQ, very flexible, very easy to use. We haven't tapped into, hold on. Yeah, there's no cab sim going on in the back. I just made sure of that. Before I move on, let me touch on the sweepable mid. You saw me kind of playing with it to dial in where I wanted the scoop for the slap tone. So, again, I'll probably cover more of this in the comparison video that I do with the AG 700. But the sweepable mid is a really cool feature for when you're playing live. In particular, say you're in a cover band, Weekend Warrior, that kind of stuff. There's no front of house engineer. Your bass is up to you, right? It's not up to someone else to fix it. The cool thing about a sweepable mid is you can do this. You can walk into a room. You'll notice sometimes certain notes are louder than others, right? So you'll go to play, and this is a great way to dial in a room. Just play a chromatic scale. And like one of those one of those notes will probably be way louder than the rest. You ever experienced that? You're playing Sweet Home Alabama or something, bum 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 bum, whoa whoa, and that one note is like so much louder than everyone else's. So what you can do is basically sweep for that or fish for it, right? That's what we call it in mixing. We're fishing for EQ, or we're searching for it. So ideally, what I would do is this kind of thing. I would play. Let's say that's the note that's making the house go crazy, okay? The way I would find it is I would go like this. I would boost that mid-range, and then I would just play that note, and I'm sweeping. Watch what happens. I'm going to pull down the gain so it doesn't get loud, but watch what happens as I start sweeping through the mids. Right? So again, as a tone shaping, you might not be sure, well, which one of those sounds better? I don't know. But in the room, if like if that one frequency goes nuts, right? You just kind of fish for it right here. You go searching. And once you found it, instead of boosting it, you cut. You do one of these, and now you can just leave it for the rest of the night. So instead of using the EQ as a tone shaping tool, like, oh, I'm going to use it for slap, or I'm playing with a pick, and so I really want this burpy top end. That's not what I use sweepable mids for. I use a sweepable mid to find a problem in the room that my front of house guy can't fix because there isn't front of house. There's no sound guy. So I've got to do it all myself. That means I went searching for it, I boosted, and I found it. Then I cut it down, and now when I go back and I play like my chromatic scale, all those notes are even across the frequency response. So I like that about the tone hammer. The 3-band EQ makes it less usable for surgical. I'm sorry, for like tone shaping moves maybe, because it's got less bands. But that sweepable mid is huge for helping you find problem spots. So again, Weekend Warrior, cover band, weddings, the type of stuff where it's throw and go. You have to bring a bass amp. There's no front of house, and you're in charge of how good you sound in the room. That sweepable mid is going to help you out tremendously. Other than that, the mid-range and the bass knob did exactly what I wanted them to do. Let's play around with the overdrive a little bit. Again, I'm going to turn off my microphone. Let's come back to over here, and let's see what we get. I just wanted to double check and make sure that I wasn't clipping, because believe it or not, I can't see that light that's peaking. Because from where I'm looking, the cable's covering it up. But yeah, that's just the sound of the overdrive. So I'm making sure that I'm intending to overdrive it, but I'm not you know, clipping it at the output or at the converters, I suppose. Let me turn off this mic again, and I'm gonna play with dialing in a little bit of top end from the bass itself. I mean, like I said, I like what the Overdrive is doing. I like what the 3-band EQ is doing. I want a little bit more slice. Let's just see if it can get dark glassy if I pump a little bit more top end into it on the way in. We're already doing a considerable amount of top end gain. Let's just see what happens if from the bass I do that too. Turn off the mic. Yeah, you can see that's a totally different type of attack in top end than what you would get from, you know, duller sounding strings and less attack. Doesn't have that sharpness. I call that top end like the Warwick, the Spector, the Dingwall. I think of that top end as like if you were basking a bouncing ball. No, if you were bouncing a basketball and that sound that it makes when it hits like a gymnasium floor. There's like a scoop to and a smack to it. That's what I'm looking for when I'm doing like rock, you know, type of playing. So we're really close here. Dude, that sounds pretty sick. I'm gonna pull in a backing track over here. Give me 1 second to test the volume of this track. Hold on. All right, this song's called Try to Sleep. It's by my good friend Bill Worrell. And I'm just gonna make the track a little bit louder. Barely any louder. This song was a technical challenge for my students at Jamie's Bass Academy this past month. So what I've been doing is we've been working through this lick, this whole entire section as a group. That's something that we do. We do a technical challenge and a studio challenge. So the technical is like we all play a riff together and we try to master it. That's this one. And then the studio challenge is like trying to play a whole song down. It's a little bit easier, but more focused on studio things like red light syndrome and, you know, getting a clean signal and all that kind of stuff. One performance. Okay, let me try playing this down and let's see what happens. I'll leave it on this screen so you can see both of us. Yeah, that's how you know this is live, people. Oh, come on. Hold on. Let's get this mic out of the way. All right, let's do this. Said I'd just lay back and try to dream. Okay, so I just plugged in a basically a reamp pedal. I've got a whole bunch of clips that I've played on over the years of music that I've recorded here at the studio and elsewhere, where I can kind of, you know, replay the performances, and then I don't have to worry about performing at the same time. I can just come over here and dial in the tone. So let me flatten this out really quick. Again, we're still only using the DI. You know what, on this one, maybe we'll check out the cab sim on the back, but for now, hold on, check 1, 2. Hey, my vocal's getting panned. I didn't like that. For right now, we're just gonna stick with the DI. I'll mic up the amp or the cabinet in a little bit. Let me just flatten everything out and turn off the overdrive. Let me play the DI bass first And then I will, whatchamacallit, bring in the track, and we'll see how we can get the bass to sit. But check it out. This right here, is it making any sound? Why? Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm going to jump over to, you're going to lose me, but I'm going to jump over to this screen. So, oh, shoot, not that one. This one here. So you'll see me performing, but I'm going to dial in, you know, the tone over here. So the thing that you're seeing on the other screen is obviously an older performance. So let's just kind of loop that and see what it sounds like. Ooh, I like that. The overdrive gets a bit honky sounding. Right about there is kind of where I like it on this one. Let me just make sure I'm not clipping. Yeah, not bad. Let me repeat that section again. I can squeeze the mids out a little bit. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. So that's a pretty neat happy medium right there. Is, like I said, the overdrive's a bit honky, a bit mid-rangey, and this song is in drop E tuning. The guitars are playing 8 strings in drop tuning, so yeah, it's drop E. So I don't want to use too much of that mid-range, so I'm just trying to stay out of the way. So you can do, I'm doing a pretty considerable cut in the low mids, boosting the low end and the top end a lot. Let's do this. Let me bring in the track. Let me just test the volume really quick. Nice. Honestly, that was pretty deep, pretty thick and brutal. Again, drop E tuning with this type of stuff. I don't know if I would get dirtier, and I don't know if I would get more throaty and full, because again, I'm trying to just be the for the guitars. And you know, I know the mix probably is the guitars are really you know, pushed down, but that's probably about the tone I would dial in for this. And honestly, if I remember correctly, I used my friend Rod Diaz from Korn. He used to live a couple streets away. He just moved back to Boston. But I borrowed his Dingwall, and I think I used a Dark Glass Alpha Omega. Barely any overdrive on it, and this is pretty close to the tone. I'm curious. Hold on one second. I'm going to press the cab sim button in the back. I just want to see if I'm going to turn off the track. I want to see if that automatically plays the cab. So let me play this again. Okay, let me see. All right, I'm just curious if the rear DI... Ah, there we go. So the cab sim button on the back is only engaged by the rear DI. Okay, so this right here is flat. I like this one the most so far. That's nice too, but it gets rid of a lot of the top end. That's kind of really flat. That's even more flat. You know what? Okay, hold on. Let me do this. Let me pull the track back in. Let's see if we like it more. I'm going to boost the track a little bit too. What we get? I'm going to play with the cab sims in the back. Let's see if we can try another one. I like this one the most. Very full. Yeah, very much tighter sounding. I'll turn off the cab sim. Yeah. All the body, all the low end disappears. Interesting. Very cool. All right. Let's try out another song. Instead of going metal, sorry, I gotta do this the right way. I'm using Ableton and I'm not very good at it. And I'm hitting wrong buttons. Okay, let's try this one. I'm gonna mute the track. This is a country tune. Actually, okay, before I start that, let me flatten out everything over here. So this right here, I'm going to turn off the overdrive. And this song is actually from when I was on a show called Clash of the Cover Bands. This is a oh, geez. Hold on. Now I'm hitting wrong things. All right. So this was a TV show that I was on. We won first place, actually. I was playing with a Dolly Parton tribute artist. Wait for me. I'm in the background. I'll be coming up in just a second. On a very quiet P bass, so we got to gain it up a lot. Hey, there I am. Hey, there we are. All right, so there's not a lot going on in this one, and that's kind of the whole point. Country, the bass is just supposed to be thumpy, get out of the way, let the kick and the guitars do the rest. So boosting the bass and somewhere in the low mids, cutting the top end. I mean, honestly, that's really close. Let me play that again when the bass comes in. Yeah. Now, this does have ooh, there's the cab sim that I liked before. Let me try the next one. Yeah. Yeah, this cabinet simulator is pretty sick. Let me try that one more time. It's maybe too dark. So instead of cutting the low mids, I can boost the top end to make it a little less woofy. Actually, that's pretty sweet. Let me just check the levels. How we doing here? Yeah, that's not bad. That's not clipping. All right, let's bring in the track and see how it does. All right, here we go. I like this the most. Hold on, I'm gonna back it up and do that again because this sounds so much better. Okay, let me pull the track down a little. Yeah. Dang! All right, I'm really impressed. That was a very sick country tone. I thought I was gonna have to mic up the cabinet for that one, but the amp sim in the back was perfect. And yeah, we used the same one as last time. So whichever one comes stock, there's one button you hit it 3 times. Off, selection 1, 2, and 3. So there's like 4 settings, 3 cabs, and then nothing. Bypass totally. But yeah, I'm impressed. Not bad. You know what? Let's do this next one instead of going out of the front. Okay, so also let me say this: the way it seems to be working, and I'll bet the AG700 is the same. Is the front DI is giving us just the dry signal post EQ, and sorry, let me go over to this screen. Yeah, so the front DI signal is sending us dry DI bass post or pre, and then the DI on the back is sending it post cabinet simulator, IR, impulse response, whatever's in the back. I don't know if that, oh yeah, and that is post EQ as well. I'll bet you can pre it with that button, but that way you can send front of house or in ears or recording console different things depending on what you want to capture. So that's a pretty cool feature. Let me do this. Let me plug in a microphone. I've got, I should have set the height first. So forgive me, I'm gonna need just a minute to plug this in. This is the time of the show where you can run into the comment section and talk amongst yourselves and be like, this is so stupid. He's so bald. What's with all the monsters? You should play more bass. You can tell I don't read my comments. I do need to see where the speaker is on this thing. Is that a good angle? No. Is that a good angle? No. We'll leave it on this one. Here's a good way to find the center of the speaker cone is turn on your flashlight. This thing right here. And if you put it up to the grill cloth, you should pretty much see where the circle is. And what I like to do is get pretty much right up against where the center of the circle meets the edge of the cone, kind of right there is going to be in my opinion, the best, I don't know. It's the best ratio of low end to punch. And if I need woofier, I'll move further away from the center towards the edge of the cone, and that'll get more of a woo, 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 kind of muffly tone. And then if I want more of a direct sound and more smack and more slice, then you get closer to the front. And this is a 12-inch speaker, which is great. Great for miking up in the studio. This 112. I think a 12-inch is my favorite, honestly, because it's a little bit of the punch of a 10 and a little bit of the woof of a 15. So it's like a really happy medium right in the middle. Okay, so let me pull up one more song. This one's by a band called Evening Elephants. By the way, all these songs that you're hearing, these are all things that I've recorded on. Obviously, that one was from Clash of the Cover Bands. The last one was by a band called LOTHAL. You'll find links to all this stuff, not just this music, but all the gear you see me using, the microphones, everything. It's all links in the description, so you can go check it out if you want. Let me mute the track. Let's hear this bass. This is a Squier J bass, 1960s vintage, like whatever their reissue is. Let's see, where is that bass? Why aren't you playing? Oh, volume's down. Ha ha. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, now I do need to say this. I'm going to mute this microphone, and I've got to set the gain for this one here. Again, we just got a AKG D112 kind of on the center. So I'm going to let this passage loop, and I'm going to leave it on this screen. Or maybe I should leave it on this one. Okay, so yeah, so let me place the mic, get the gains dialed in, and I'll just set this this song to loop really quick. Hold on, I gotta set the repeat markers. All right, so this bass line is just gonna loop for a minute or so while I get the microphone all dialed in. And I'm gonna turn off this mic. Not bad. Not a bad tone. Obviously, I'm hearing it not just in my headphones, but I'm also hearing it right next to me. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to pull in the track, and let's just see what we get. Track goes right here. I'm going to do that again and mute my microphone. Here we go. Nice, not bad. That was a pretty easy one. That song, I started to say it a minute ago. That song's called Hushfires by Evening Elephants. That was a show that we opened up for Zed, actually at a huge EDM festival. So all these songs you've heard, these are all bands that I've played with, records that I've made. And this last one here, oops, that screen is gone. These were the settings that we used. Yeah, not bad. Very punchy. Oh my goodness. I forgot to turn the computer off, the backing tracks. All right, well, I'm going to turn this off so we can get rid of that fan noise. Much better. Okay, so here's my final thoughts. And again, take these for what they're worth. After spending, I don't know, less than an hour, I can't see how long I've been rolling, but I haven't spent that much time with this rendition of the amp. Now, again, remember, I did play the old tone hammer for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, so I am very familiar with the sound. This wasn't that different. It's just an upgrade. It's the same EQ that I remember. It's the same guts, bells and whistles. The cab sim on the back, the impulse responses, responsers? I actually don't know how to say it. The IRs, that's really sick. I love that they included that, and especially the double XLR output, one that has the cabs and one without, and maybe you can even switch them. I don't know. Like I said, there's some sort of software component that I haven't even tapped into yet. So, yeah, in terms of the feature set, it's sick. It's exactly what I remember, and kind of like what I said at the beginning. This is what I recommend for weekend warriors, cover band people, stuff where you're playing a lot of different styles. And what you need to do is to set up a rig for the venue or for the night or for the show, and then you don't touch it, right? And you kind of do your tone shaping and your other sounds by using pedals and EQ and other things, but you kind of use the rig for for the main sound of the room. That, again, like I said already, I think that's the benefit of the 3-band EQ. Really, it's like 2-band, bass and treble, set those to taste, and then use the mid to either cut or boost problem frequencies in the room. So if 400 sucks, cut 400 or boost. I mean, whichever one you're having trouble with in the room. So I can't say how it compares to the AG700 yet. We'll do that, like I said, in another video, because the next thing I'm going to do is finish unboxing that one plug-in and do the same exact video that I did just now, but instead of using the Tonehammer 500, we'll use the same amp, same mic. I'll play some of the same songs, or maybe not. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. We'll do that video next. Final thoughts on this are it's a fantastic amp, lightweight, great for the weekend warrior. Throw it in your backpack, bring it on an airplane. You could backline it, no problem. The extra DI and the cab sim make it just stellar. I'm not sure about the price point. I'm going to guess $850, $900. That'd be my ballpark. If I'm way off, hey, there's links in the description. Go click on those. Speaking of which, if you make a purchase, I make a very, very small micro commission on it. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Other than that, thank you, Aguilar, for sending this out. And also thank you to Spector. Well, sorry, Spector didn't sell this, but thank you to Zounds for sending out this Spector NS Pulse that I used at the beginning of the video. And like I said, all of the gear we used throughout, you can find links to it in other demo videos that I've done on that stuff. So thanks for watching. I hope you had fun. We'll see you next time.